Hi, this is John Braconnier with Professional Realty Group. I have your market report for the month of December for Edmonton and Sherwood Park and area, but I thought I'd like to include a special bonus section at the beginning here. I have a few slides prepared for you, which we're going to do a little review of what happened in the last few years leading up to 2022, how these high interest rates or mortgage rates are affecting the market. What does it mean to you as a buyer or seller in this market? So grab a coffee, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Well, perhaps you've seen these kinds of headlines like the housing crash is here, the crash in home prices is now underway. But is this really the case? Why don't we have a look at the facts and check out the next few slides. So this next slide is the 5 years, January to June total sales, 2018 to 2022. So if we check out what's been happening in the beginning years, we can see that the number of home sales for the first 6 months was around the 8,500 range. Then during COVID, it did drop down into the 6,980 range. But look what happened after that, a massive increase in the sale of homes, almost double of what it was in the previous years. What effect did this have on home prices? So this next slide is the residential average price in the Greater Edmonton area. If we check out the average price ever since 2013, the average price appears to be in that $375 area. It's only been in the years of 2021 and 2022 that we see this massive increase in the price of homes from $375 just below $425 area. And this was due to the super low mortgage rates, high demand for homes, a lot of migration into Alberta from other provinces, and other factors. But what has happened since the increase in the mortgage rates? And what about mortgage rates? How are the mortgage rates affecting the price of homes? Let's check it out. So you may find this chart interesting. This is the mortgage interest rate since 1979. One interesting fact you'll notice is that the average interest rate over the past 35 years or so is about 6.5%. And where have we landed up today? We're around the 5.5% for a 5-year conventional mortgage. If we have a look at this particular chart, you can see the average interest rate was just under 7%. That took us up to 2008, 2009. What happened in 2008, 2009? We had that great big market crash, financial crash in the States in the housing market. This resulted in the government starting their printing of money and the era of low interest rates. So since 2009, we have had these interest rates well under, well, you can see 3%, 2%. Some people got mortgage rates well under 2%. But what has happened here with the rapid increase in mortgage rates, we see that the rate has now gone back up into that 5.5% rate change. So what has this done for the market? Is this going to continue? The current thinking is that the Bank of Canada and the Fed in the States, the interest rates has peaked, and we may get some smaller rate increases, but then it should be steady for the rest of the year into 2024. Perhaps we might even see some decline or incentives being offered by financial institutions to encourage people to buy. So we can now expect more of a stable, balanced, and normal market. These next two slides show the monthly average. This one shows the monthly average price from 2018 to 2022. So we can see over the past 1, 2, 3 years, 2018, 2019, 2020, the average price relatively didn't fluctuate too much. And then, of course, it always comes down a little bit over the winter months. Of course, we had that anomaly for the past 2 years where we've seen a massive demand for homes, which drove the prices up. But since the interest rates have started, which was probably around March of the year, we can see that the average price of homes has dropped down to where? Basically, back down to the norm. Let's check out this next slide. This is Edmonton, again, Edmonton sales, total sales for the last 5 years. Again, we can see that for the first 3 years, from 2018 to 2020, you get a lot of sales happening in the first part of the year, the spring season, and then the sales drop down or decline into the winter. So with the increase in the mortgage rates, we saw a high demand of homes available in the beginning of the year as people jumped in to still capture those lower interest rates. They started about March, and since March we have seen a steady decline in the total sales. But look where that lands up. It's basically back into the normal range, a little bit lower than normal, and we can probably expect that to come back up and equalize. So what we're saying is that the higher interest rates or mortgage rates, they have not caused really a severe crash. Basically, we have just returned back to the norms, to a more balanced market, which is good for both buyers and sellers. All right, let's check out the Edmonton stats. So if we check out the month of December, we can see that there were 630 units sold. There are 4,163 listings. That gives us 6.6 months of inventory. The average sold price dropped down from the 379, 371, and now down to 357. And it takes longer in the bitter cold winter. Days on market now take 60 days to sell the average home in Edmonton. Moving on to Sherwood Park. So for the month of December, a big drop in the sale. Of course, but it was really bitter. 38 units sold. There are 132 listings, so around the same as November. That gives us 3.5 months of inventory. The average sold price did drop down quite a bit, from $445 down to $390. And it does take longer now to sell a home in Sherwood Park, 42 days on market. In Edmonton, having a look at the what sold stats. So we can see for single family detached, 352 units sold versus the previous months of 531 and 484. The average price didn't really change that much. Still around the 460s, mid 460s. And days on market takes a little longer, 55 days on market versus the 46 and 50 from the previous months. In the half duplexes, 47 sold. The average price was $348. That's down quite a bit from the previous months. And it takes about 40 days to sell a home, a duplex, versus the 57 and 49 days on market before. In terms of condominiums, 231 sold in December. Average price not too far off October and November. 210, 216, now 200. But look at that. It takes a lot longer in this cold weather to sell your condo, up at 71 days on market. Checking out what is available in Edmonton. So in single family detached, there's 2,405 units, and the average list price actually has remained the same, a little bit higher even, $597. For half duplexes, 208 units are for sale versus the 265 and 221 in previous months. The actual price has gone up. There's a high demand for duplexes, up to $426 average sale price. For condominiums, 1,550 sold in the month of December, and the average price that sold was $269. And again, look, that is up from October and November. So definitely there are higher demand for condos. Going into Sherwood Park, in terms of the single family detached, 21 homes sold, an average price of $464, so that's dropped down for the $498 and $483, and the days on market has gone up from 34 up to 40. For half duplexes, only 3 half duplexes sold in December versus the 6 and 5 in previous months. The average price a little bit lower, $369, and it now takes 59 days on market to sell your half duplexes. 4 condominiums, 14 sold versus, so it's up a little bit from November. Average price is down $284 from the threes in October and November, and it takes roughly the same days on market to sell a condo. Acreages experienced a fairly sizable drop in the number of units sold, 6 from the 18 and 11. Average price $537 versus $756 and $710. So definitely the lower units are selling, the lower price units, and it takes 56 days on market to sell your acreage. So what's available for sale in Sherwood Park? In single family homes, there are 78 homes versus the 85 from the previous month and 110 the month before. The average list price actually has gone up a little bit from last month, up at $532 versus the $529, and down from the $568 high in October. For half duplexes, there are 5 half duplexes for sale versus the 10 and 7 from previous months. The average price is down a little bit to $376 versus the $385 and $395. To buy a condo, there's 49 units, so more units are available for condos. Prices drop down to the $315 average mark versus $345 and $327 in the previous months. And for acreages, there are 61 acreages available, and the average price is around, it's actually 1.1. Just can't move my picture out of the way there, but the average price is now 1.1. All right, in terms of price reduced, nothing was price reduced in the past 7 days. However, we do see that 3 homes were listed and 5 just sold. So to get your free weekly list of price reduced, just listed, or just sold, you can go to the SherwoodParkLifestyles.com website and sign up, and those lists will be delivered right to your email box. Of course, it's always good to get your home price right. So feel free to give me a call or text 780-966-2360 to get your free market evaluation. And of course, there is fresh content posted daily on Sherwood Park Homes and Lifestyles Facebook page. So why don't you come over and check out the latest offerings. Key release day for Edwin and Netse Mazzani. And so they wrote a beautiful Google review for me. They too moved from out of province, and we were able to do some touring when they came to Alberta, to Edmonton in the summer. And then we kept in touch. And then when they were ready to make their purchase, we were able to find them a nice home here in Sherwood Park. And so current listing for sale in Beaumont, 2-story, right across from the school. So parents, you don't have to drive your kids to school anymore. Check out my website. So that will be johnleebraconnier.com, and you can find all the specifics to that particular property. And here's my latest contact information. So thanks for hanging in with me to the end of the report. As you can see, it appears that we really are getting into more of a balanced market. This is good for both sellers and buyers. We no longer have those rush, multiple offers, lots of pressure on the buyer, lots of pressure on the seller. We have more time to do home inspections, more time to do due diligence, more choice. So a balanced market is good. And really the mortgage rates, although they appear to be high, they really are more the norm. And they have brought, all of the market stats back to the norm. So we can expect probably in 2023 to see maybe a few more rate increases, yes, but more stability, a leveling off. And we'll see how it goes. Of course, no one can predict the future, but that's what the indicators are looking at right now. So anyways, have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you for the next one.